Bueno, buenas noches a todos.
Good evening, everyone. If you're ready, we'll start a press conference after the match. Coach.
Before, I want to say one notice for the Euroleague organization that for me and for the players, it's unfair to play a game at this time. It's 1 o'clock now, after midnight in our country. So they must find some solution about this. This is very difficult for us to play, for the game rhythm, for the players at 1 o'clock to play the game. It's very difficult. This is one notice for the organization. About the game, so one more time, I think that we played perfect game. Also in the statistic, when I saw the statistic, we are better in the field goals, shoot field goals. We are better in the assist, we have more assist. We are better in the turnover, we have less turnover. Only in the rebounds, and everybody watched the game. Congratulations for Real Madrid.
Thanks so much, Coach. Question for the coach. Preguntas para el entrenador, como siempre.
Questions for the coach. Please, as usual, your name and the company that you represent for the question. Thank you. With everything you say in the assessment, do you think it's unfair that the Real Madrid won? Do you think it's unfair that the Real Madrid won with everything you said?
I didn't say that Real Madrid won is unfair. I think that you don't understand. So, you have IQ problem. I told that to play at this time, 1 o'clock, the game is unfair for me and for the players. I didn't say that Real Madrid is unfair that Real Madrid won the game. That's all. That's all. Okay. Another question. Thank you.
Baby, and drop it. Scrub the flow and just mop it. Show these gangsters how you pop lock it. Don't care what you got in your pocket. I peep the way that you rockin' with that thing. Girl, stop it. Wanna just bang, bang, and pop it. While the club crowd are just watching. Work it out. Got a gang of cash and it's going all on the ball. Now work it out. And it's going fast cause I feel like a superstar. Now work it out. And you may not have it, I might have just broke the law. Now work it out. It's your turn to grab it and I make this whole thing yours. Now work it out. Said our hustlers' work is never through. We making it cause we making moves. The only thing we know how to do. Said it's the only thing we know how to do. Work hard, play hard, work hard, play hard. We work hard, play hard, keep partying like it's your job. Work hard, play hard, work hard, play hard. We work hard, play hard, keep partying like it's your job. Ew. Deaf looking plush. Ladies can't get enough. Got my fitness on looking buff. And all my people with my trust. Holding down for my city. If they're asking you, I'm not guilty. Only thing that I'm guilty of is making you rock with me. Work it out. Got a gang of cash and it's going all on the ball. Now work it out. And it's going fast cause I feel like a superstar. Now work it out. And you may not have it, I might have just broke the law. Now work it out. It's your turn to grab it and I make this whole thing yours. Now work it out. Said our hustlers' work is never through. We making it cause we making moves. The only thing we know how to do. Said it's the only thing we know how to do. Work hard, play hard, work hard, play hard. We work hard, play hard, keep partying like it's your job. Today I don't feel like doing anything. I just wanna lay in my bed. Don't feel like picking up my phone, so leave a message at the tone. 'Cause today I swear I'm not doing anything. I'm gonna kick my feet up, then stare at the fan. Turn the TV on, throw my hand in my pants. Nobody's gonna tell me I can't. Nah, I'll be lounging on the couch, just chilling in my Snuggie. Click to MTV so they can teach me how to Dougie. 'Cause in my castle, I'm the freaking man. Oh, yes, I said it. I said it. I said it 'cause I can. Today I don't feel like doing anything. I just wanna lay in my bed. Don't feel like picking up my phone, so leave a message at the tone. 'Cause today I swear I'm not doing anything. Nothing at all. Woo-hoo, woo-hoo, nothing at all. Woo-hoo, woo-hoo. Tomorrow I'll wake up, do some P90X, meet a really nice girl, have some really nice sex, and she's gonna scream out, "This is great."
Oh my God, this is great.
Yeah, I might mess around and get my college degree. I bet my old man will be so proud of me. But sorry, Pops, you'll just have to wait. Oh, yes, I said it. I said it. I said it 'cause I can. Today I don't feel like doing anything.
Bueno, buenas noches.
Good evening. If you're ready, we'll continue the press conference with assessment from Pablo Lasso and questions for the coach. First, to congratulate the guys. I'm really happy with today's win. Obviously, on a regular league, it's kind of difficult to say what match is more important than another one, because all of them are. But with the classification situation we have, I believe this match was quite important. I believe the team did a great work on the first half. We had a lot of problems losing the ball, and that made the match to be more equal, and we were able to do things properly as well. But there was a bit of a lack of a pace because of so many losses and not being able to shoot. On the second half, our defense was very good. We got an advantage that was good enough to maintain through the rest of the second half. And I believe that the contribution of all players was key in a match that we knew was going to be very difficult and very long, because they have players with a lot of quality. So in spite of the rebounds in our favor, it was a feeling of a very, very difficult match. I'm happy because of the win and the effort of the players. Repeating again what I was saying, the feeling that today's match, although I didn't say that on the previous press conference, was quite important for the classification. Questions for Pablo? Noemi Fernandez, Real Madrid Television. Pablo, good evening. Congratulations for your win. It was clear that you had all the ingredients to be one of the great appointments of the Euroleague. What level of concentration does this match demand? For me, very high, because we saw a team in front of us with a lot of quality. Players quite able on the one-on-one with a clear game of players open, 4 of them, which is quite dangerous. We couldn't find a defensive base because of that. And it's a team that is on the higher part of Euroleague classification because of what they're doing and the quality they have. Therefore, it was a match that we already saw that it could be quite important regarding classification, and that's it. It's not that it's not like there are 10 matches ahead. We have to ensure the playoffs slot, and we have to try and get the advantage of the field. But today is a day to be happy, and it was important. The fans and the people vibrating with the team, and we were all able to suffer and win within the 40 minutes. Good evening, and congratulations for the win. I would like to ask about Carroll's contribution after he was injured and how you saw him in the minutes he played. Thank you. I saw him well. I would say very good things. He would allow us to have a wider way of play. When he was in the field, we could do more things. He was not playing quite properly. He missed 2 or 3 shots that he usually doesn't miss. Quite clear shots, but I'm less worried about that because he did a good work in general for the team. The team took advantage of his situation and advantages, and we were able to read all their offensive situations. And from the defensive point of view, I think he was able to spend faults in important moments on arcing on 1-on-1. So in general, happy knowing that he was stopped for a month, and you always think a player as JC, which is quite explosive, we could think, okay, he will have either a wonderful match or everything will be bad. But we're happy because he was quite positive for the team without having a great match, of course, but very good for the team. I remind you to mention your name and the company you represent. Javier Rodriguez, Planeta CP. On the 4th quarter, you started with the old guard, as we can say, with you, Carroll, Rudy, Regis, and Jon. I don't know if that's something you had planned from before, or you wanted to add some experience plus, because that was important to stop Arki. And I would ask Yul has to be on the match even if it's 0 out of 6 in the 3rd quarter. I believe it was a moment of the match where the couple, Gustavo and Felipe, and the players we had in the outer part, it could be quite positive because of their positions of going out from block from Sergi ruled. He was wonderfully from the defensive point of view. He touched rebounds, and I think we were quite solid on a given moment. Probably they were finding how to attack and how to defend that game, but we were able to read it properly, to look for advantage situations, and to close the match with players that were quite blocked. I think he did. Fernando had a wonderful match. I had more problems with Mortimer, who was damaging over there. Eddie was quite well on rebound situation, blocking. So I think at the end of the day, we found all the players in the moment, and I thought that in that moment, that set of 5 could be important at the beginning of the 4th quarter. Regarding Sergi, the fact that he does 0 out of 6, it doesn't worry me. He finished with 3 out of 12. One was squeezed from the corner that really played quite properly, and he was alone. So I understand that sometimes players need that kind of push of scoring. That's normal. You will value a lot when a guy scores 20 and not when you has 8 rebounds, which is his record in the Euroleague. So I believe that you had match that could have been better, but in general, and that's why he was in the field, it's a player quite important for us. And as we were saying, it was 0 out of 6, but we know that it was 6 out of 6. It's Sergi. It's our player. And in that sense, I'm happy because I believe that for him, there was a moment where he was feeling well on the field. He was mad at me when I sat him down after 2 minutes, and that's good. That's because he's already good. If he's mad at me, that's normal, that's good. Over here, Emilio Escudero from the RIBC. I would like to ask basketball coaches, you go to the detail, you like to control everything. What do you think when there's a player that scores 17 points on a quarter, like Yul at the end, that scores 12? Does that break your ideas for the good part, I believe? Would you say I have to take him out, I have to leave him in? What do you think about that? Obviously, the coaches reading the match is messed up because sometimes players could be playing properly offensively, but they're not good for the team because they're doing other things. You see that, but they don't see that. Maybe they think they're defending properly, but maybe we need something else on the attack, or they're attacking properly, but we need something else on the defense. So the coach's task is, in that sense, it's kind of ungrateful, but I have to look for the good of the team. I repeat that all the time. I would like for all of them to be really happy, but they're going to be even happier if Madrid wins. And that's what today I believe we achieved. Regarding the tricks and all that, yeah, when it happens against you, you get mad because you think you can have a better defense with some players. But in general, the team is quite solid in that, knowing that the opponent plays and they choose whatever they want to attack. And from the offensive point of view, when a player goes on a streak, you just leave him because he's scoring everything. And JC is probably one of the best examples of playing kind of on fire. But we cannot distract from trying and taking the team in the best possible way, no matter what individual actions. Two last questions. Carlos Sanchez from Madrid. I would like to ask about you a bit more, because from the outside you see a special relationship between the both of you for many years. You were saying now that he was a bit angry, and that was a virtue because that's Yul being better. And there's some doubts because maybe his performance is lower. I don't know how you see him. How is Yul this moment in the season? How do you have your Yul, your lifelong Yul from Real Madrid? But I have to talk about Sergi now. I think there are no doubts about him. I have no doubts about him. I know perfectly well what Sergi can do. But we're talking about a player who last year was nearly not doing anything. He was injured, and he made an effort to recover in the moment he could. The team need him. We were champions of Europe. We won the Liga, and of course, he's not the same player. He needs kind of adapt to a new situation that last year was very difficult, and you don't achieve that from one day to the next. We had to stop 3 or 4 weeks. In November, something like that. But I'm happy every time he plays with energy, being happy, enjoying playing basketball, because I know that's what he likes most, play basketball. So when I see him sad, or he's pissed off and he's not telling me, I'd rather that he says something, because that means he's alive. And I want to say to that plays being happy, alive, making a mistake, and then he scores in one of those wonderful shots he does. That's the Sergi we all love, and I don't like to make it personal because all players are important, but nobody argues that Sergi is a player who gave a lot to Real Madrid, and he has a lot of things to give to Real Madrid. I value that as a coach, and I always defend my players, and in this case, of course. Last question over there. Hello, Pablo. Rafael Castillejo for Somos Bascas. I would like to ask not just about today's match, because you've been doing for the whole season. Jeffrey and Taylor defending the other ones with more shot options, with more talent. How do you value having a player like that? I value a lot, but I would like that it's 1 against 0. He scores the dunk. I value everything he does. But when it's 1 against 0 and he doesn't score a dunk, I get really pissed off, and probably he gets even more pissed off. But I'm really angry as he is when he misses something like that. Jeffrey's a really important player for us. I always say that. Quite often he can leave the match with a negative assessment, and he was very positive for the team. I think he's a great outer defender with one-on-one. He has a physical attitudes that are amazing, and I think he knows quite well the gears from the team, and he knows how he plays, and he values that. And for us, he's a player that's really important, and I'm really happy that people really value that work, because sometimes it's ungrateful, it's not just scoring. Okay, thank you, good evening.
You're being shy, and turn away when I look into your eyes.